crazy. The tariff situation of the US against other countries is just spiraling out of control. The US has increased the tariffs against China once again, and the 10-year bond yields are going up like crazy at the moment, and some are predicting a massive crash if the Fed isn't reacting right now, and that obviously could also send Bitcoin much lower, and then in consequence your altcoins also much lower. So hey everyone, it's the Patient Toddler coming at you with another video, and in this one we're going to discuss very quickly what is happening in the world right now, as things are absolutely crazy at the moment. And we are going to start out with the bond yields and the stock market crash prediction here, or further crash prediction, let's just say, after we have already seen substantially red in the market. But we're also going to talk about Bitcoin and what's happening, who's selling and who is buying right now. But first things first. So apparently the US has increased the tariffs to 104% against China. The other side of the story is that the 10-year bond yields in the US have just hit 4.5%. So going up like crazy. Let's listen here quickly to Peter Schiff, what he is tweeting out.
As I warned earlier, the treasury market is crashing. The yield on the 10-year just hit 4.5% and the yield on the 30-year just hit 5%. Without an emergency rate cut tomorrow morning and the announcement of massive QE program, tomorrow could be a 1987 style stock market crash.
Wow, so that doesn't sound good at all, because if there is a 1987 style stock market crash looming, then obviously something needs to be done. But why would this crash happen? Because at 4.5% yield, these bonds are technically more interesting to investors than most of the other stocks, making the only logical choice here and selling off stocks and going into those bonds basically for investors. And at the same time, the borrowing costs are extremely high for companies, for enterprises and so on, suppressing margins. So that is really something where Peter Schiff could be right if the Fed is not stepping in. On the other side, the Fed is really at a very hard spot because inflation is not yet really under control. So if they are going hard on QE at the moment, then this means that they are risking that inflation is coming back, and then subsequently, if inflation goes into another upswing, they have to raise the rates once again to get it under control, or they will not get it under control. And then, yes, then they save the stock market in the short term, but they risk the long-term outlook with a rampant inflation. So what will they do? Will they step in with this massive QE just yet, or will they risk this massive crash in the stock market and react afterwards? And if this massive crash happens, well then yes, maybe unemployment also shoots up. Maybe we are going into a short-term recession there if they are not acting as quickly as Donald Trump is demanding from the Fed. And then, then maybe we could see a massive crash also in crypto, right? So this is really the risky play here. We are now holding above, at the moment, around and above a very critical level where we say the bull market is still on. It's a very nice level here, inverse head and shoulders, we're bouncing. But if the stock markets are going into a mega crash, then obviously that would also drag Bitcoin and all the altcoins down, and then we really have a different scenario here. So be prepared for that, which means on the opportunity side, of course, have some cash ready. In case that happens, we will have extremely cheap prices to buy in. Also be prepared to that somehow through a black swan, the indicators suddenly start pointing into, hey, bear market may be over. That doesn't mean that after that there couldn't be a V-shaped recovery, but we need to be prepared in case that the Fed is stepping in with QE immediately and stops this crash from happening. then be prepared for massive upswing in prices everywhere, V-shaped recovery now, a big bounce on this inverse head and shoulders. But then also we need to be prepared for a very, very quick profit taking. And with quick, I don't mean days, but rather a couple of months, quick profit taking, because then I think there is a timer on all the inflation situation, how far you can push this crash into the future. And so then we need to lock in the profits and act accordingly. But let me know in the comments below what you think. And right now, one more thing is important. The people that are selling right now are the short-term holders, as you can see in this chart. The people that are buying at these levels are the whales. There are more whale wallets above 1,000 plus Bitcoin per wallet than ever before, right? So whale wallets are going up, whereas short-term holders are selling at a loss into those whale hands. And that usually is a sign, hey, whales are accumulating and so on. Things will come back. Bitcoin will come back anyways. So as prices are low, I'm actually a buyer here. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about all of this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's a crash right now, or they're printing it away? And wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I see you in the next video or live stream. Bye.